Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Inglorious Banters. This time episode 12, titled 365 Reasons to Stay, or what I'm calling it, the Jek Porkins effect. So
stay on target, stay on target.
It's been hard. So we're here this time to talk about our time at CanCon 2026. So what we had a look around at, what was inspiring and what was obviously very distracting. Our 365 challenge for 2025 and how we went. Plus our hobby goals for 2026, and also, as usual, the little bit at the end that everybody, I hope, likes to hear, what's got Mitch distracted. So, guys, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Andrew?
Pretty damn good, guys.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had an episode recorded, so we have gone through and had one put out a short while ago that we sort of pre-recorded, but we've had a bunch of live stuff going on, so people on leave, holidays, gallivanting around the countryside, seeing shrouded stugs in the forests. But yeah. So what sort of hobby stuff we've been up to?
I've had very limited hobby time over the school holidays, over like the Christmas period. But I did. I went on a really big trip for like 2 weeks, and I took so many photos of inspiring scenery and terrain, especially for jungly stuff like Drowned Earth.
Yeah,
that got really inspiring, but I haven't had a lot of time to do anything. I've got stuff ready on the table, but that's about it.
No, good. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, same for me. Not a lot of painting, but a lot of building and prepping for the first kind of little bit of the year. It's very similar to Tim. Lots of stuff on the table ready to go. Mm-hmm. Now I need to actually get in there and spray and paint.
No, nice. So I've been plugging away with my Stargrave Warband for my Saw Gerrera's Partisans. So working on a few extra miniatures and finalising off the 10 for the Warband. And I've been working on some Conflict 47 stuff, building up some stole tripping. So still got a bit of a way to go, but lots of stowage on them because they're all going to be stuck up in the mountains trying to fight stuff.
Just when you think there's enough stowage, there's not enough stowage.
I don't know. There's not a lot of space left on the back of those guys. So yeah, been getting into a bit of that. So yeah.
You said that you're adding stowage because they're up from the mountains. Is there a particular theme?
Because it's for my Geberg's Jaeger force that I did up for my challenge for last year. So I took those guys to Moab 2025. I wanted to expand on that army as part of our group's push into Conflict 47, which we talked a bit about on the last episode. Having seen the new bits and pieces coming out for the Festung Europa for Conflict 47, I'm very interested in the new Totem Core, the new zombies, plus the roadmap. Yeah. The roadmap looks really good as well.
I haven't had a look at that in detail, actually.
Yeah, so we might have to do a revisit for Conflict 47 with how we've gone once we've got a couple of games in, so we'll probably look at scheduling some games soon. But yeah, just sort of plugging away at bits and pieces for Conflict 47 and getting super distracted. Nice. So yeah. So the first thing I'm going to have a quick chat about this evening is CanCon 2026. So myself and Andrew, we went down, met up with our friend Lee, and we also had our mate Matt come along in the car down to have a scope around all the stalls, the second-hand stall, which had massive amounts of stuff in there this year. Mm-hmm. Check out some of the tournaments and catch up with a few mates. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, Tim correctly decided that sleep was more important, so missed out this year. But we look forward to having him on our little annual road trip again next year.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was hot. So for anyone that's sort of joined us and didn't hear us about our last CanCon episode, if you're outside of Australia, it is hot every year at CanCon. It's in pretty much the middle of nowhere, with a lot of concrete and a lot of big heavy buildings. So
the middle of nowhere, our capital.
Our nation's capital. Yeah. So,
granted, though, it was not as hot as last year.
No, it wasn't.
And we didn't have to wait in as many long lines out in the sun as what we did last year.
I think because we went on the Sunday instead of the Saturday. So, still an awful lot of stuff. A lot of tournaments being played. Vendors still throughout the vendor hall, like tons of people. Yeah, really good to check out some of the stuff that was around. I mean, the highlight, as always, is the second-hand stall. There's an awful lot of stuff that we tend to come across and grab and then kind of second-guess whether we need it or not. So how about yourself, Andrew? Was something out of the second-hand stall that you managed to snag yourself?
Yeah, so look, for me, second-hand stalls are always hit and miss, but that is exactly what they are there for. You're either going to find everything that you need or absolutely nothing. I think I jinxed myself by going in with a plan of what I was really looking for, and of course found nothing of what was on my plan. I did manage to snag a couple of little cheap items. I got a good bag of World War II British infantry. Unfortunately, it was one of the older Warlord sprues that did not come with weapons. So it took me a good week of scrounging around every spare sprue that I had between Warlord Games and War Games Atlantic to try and kit these guys out. But for $40, getting nearly 40 infantry was quite well worth it.
Dollar a man is a good deal.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. So yeah, I actually managed to find a copy of the Frostgrave second edition book, which was quite surprising for the price I got it for, because it's still going brand new at a pretty decent amount. Even the people that were handling the store at the end there, when you're going through paying for your items, were really surprised to have seen it and at the price that it was at. So yeah, but they had an absolute ton of stuff there this year. There was not just wargaming stuff. There was a whole bunch of books, role-playing stuff. There was also people selling pop vinyls, toys. I managed to pick up a Death Trooper Black Series action figure for my youngest, who's super into Star Wars. So,
and how long did that Death Trooper last, Mitch?
Before it got broken, a day. So. So thankfully, I managed to put the pin back through into the leg, and it works fine now. So it's
I think Death Troopers are cybernetically enhanced, so that makes
it makes a lot more sense.
More accurate now.
Yeah.
Look, he was just getting ready for his deployment with Thrawn, then becoming a zombie Death Trooper.
So yeah, just an absolute ton of stuff. We saw a few people that we knew as well that were going around there. One of the guys from my work that works at our Canberra office, he was actually there as well on his second round through. Him and all the guys from there go through every year and literally spend their hobby money at CanCon, grabbing $500, 800 grand's worth of stuff at a time. They snapped up some really good deals. They went in for the early bird, which is why we didn't have to wait in lines, because last year we went on the Saturday and we had to wait to go in, and it was hot waiting in that line. So this year, walking straight in, having a look around, having a scope out of stuff, it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, very cool to see a host of different things. So yeah,
it's good to hear that there's variety and enough changes from year to year. We've commented here and there that there's sometimes you see the same things from the same people, but it's also because it's run by the same guys.
Yeah,
they bring out a lot of their stock that's there consistently, and you see it at Moab, you see it at ShireCon, you see it at CanCon.
One day that box of Stargate RPG game will sell.
Yeah,
One day.
It's every year, man. Actually every tournament that we go to tends to have a box of them sitting there. Although every time at $8 I go, maybe I'll buy it, and I never do. So
there's probably a reason it never sells, Mitch.
Well, no, look, to be honest, I'm a massive Stargate fan. I should probably pick it up anyway. So it's but yeah,
if they're going cheap, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So we had a wander through there for a bit. We lost Metin. He was in there for pretty much the entire time we were down. He was going through everything. He did manage to snag himself a couple of really good deals, including a Kazarak One Eye model on the card still, actually still in the blister, as a metal one, which was good. So nice. So that was pretty cool. So he dug around and found a bunch of other bits and pieces too. Cool. But we went through and we had a look around at the gaming halls. So we went through and we checked. We went through past the Blood Bowl guys were always there, always having a massive turnout for them. Had a look at some of the Legion Imperialis stuff that was there as well. Let's see, there's a lot of game systems. So we did walk past the Conflict 47. We thought, we'll catch them on the way back through, but then we were so long doing everything else, they wrapped up. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see any of their games being played.
You missed the Sunday finale.
The whole lot of it.
Right.
So I showed when we came back through, when we were heading on out, I'm like, okay, it's only 3:00. They should be, they should still be playing. I walked back through and Brad's sitting there typing up everything at the end to tally the totals. Sure. And he's like, yeah, I've got to get this done. So, but there was guys from the Bushido game. Their table, their terrain and their paint jobs, some of it.
The gaming mats for that game are really, really cool. Just really simple, small. Everything's really laid out. Lots of rules reference on the mat. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Lord of the Rings had a massive turnout again. So
Absolutely
many tables.
massive. I think I think I counted up to table 40 was one of the signs that I saw.
And the terrain all looked really great on it.
Yeah, absolutely, really lovely tables, but also just seeing the strength of the turnout for some of the tournaments was really inspiring. Yeah, 40 tables for Lord of the Rings, amazing. When I cast my mind back to working at the store, 6 or 7 would be our kind of normal rotation for people.
Yeah.
Even the bolt action was just table after table after table.
Yeah.
Really inspiring to see lots of those different terrain setups and armies.
Yeah, and we had a quick chat with Ian and Julian, the tournament organisers. Turns out that Julian actually knows our mate Lee from work, and went to introduce himself, and there was a bit of a funny period where we were like, yeah, this is actually Andrew. So it was, and then we immediately turned to, well, Andrew's got to come to Moab now so he can come and play. So there was a bit of back and forth peer pressure on that one.
Look, I did make the commitment on the podcast, so I do have to do it.
Yep.
Start that tournament training.
Yeah, exactly. So had a look at their stuff. All good. Like the guys playing, there was tons of people playing 40k in the competitive section of it. So had a friendly 40k friendlies, which actually had a lot more better looking terrain on their tables. Fortunately, the terrain was not so crash hot on the 40k ones. And then we actually walked back through, as we're heading back through to go to the other hall, which had like the Age of Sigmar and Legion and everything like that. We went past there was a game that I got distracted by as soon as we walked in last year.
Oh, yeah.
The Angels 1-6. So the guys were the guys had like more stuff set up for that. It was looking really cool. I'm still on their mailing list because it's interesting to see some of the stuff for it. Don't laugh, Andrew.
Stay on target.
Stay
on target.
So it was really cool to see some of that stuff as well. And then we headed on through out into the baking heat again. So had a wander through to the next hall and had a look around there. The Age of Sigmar, again, massive turnout for that. They had a lot of people playing. We saw a few people we knew over tables sort of thing and had a wave. Caught up with a couple of guys that we used to work with as well. So the guys we used to work with, Brent, Sean, and
Adam.
Adam,
Jeez, Mitch.
And Adam.
Sorry, Adam. We do love you.
Yeah, sorry if you listen.
To be
Sorry,
fair,
Adam.
Andrew. He only paused for like a second to get to Andrew.
He's already on. Like he's gonna forget. So had a quick chat with those guys, and then it was pretty interesting to sort of catch up with them. They're still playing a bunch of Age of Sigmar.
Cool.
I mean, went over, pestered our mate James, who was not playing because his opponent hadn't shown up for that round. But went over and had a chat with our mate James playing Legion.
And a quick check out of the Warmaster tournament, which was cool.
Yeah.
Guys are very, very friendly there. We ended up having a really good chat. There was a Bretonian and High Elf player who had just finished their game. Really, really cool. Just having a chat about hobby, having a chat about the tournaments, how they feel about their little gaming community at tournaments. Nice. Very, very cool. Check out the Warmaster Down Under page.
Yeah.
The Bretonian player, apologies, I can't remember his name, has been posting his Bretonian force up, and it looks gorgeous, even more gorgeous in person. Yeah,
it did look really quite nice. The amount of well-painted miniatures at that scale for that tournament was phenomenal. Had a wander through past the guys playing Ancients and a few other game systems there. The guys playing Marvel Crisis Protocol, all their stuff looked really good as well.
Yeah,
so
nice.
it's
Did they get a second edition of that or something?
I don't. For someone who gets distracted by games easily, I don't know on that one. I know that it still has the current, whatever the version is they've got out for the rulebook, which I have read, and looked at miniatures, and don't laugh, Andrew. And it's something that is still a really cool thing. Like being able to pick up pieces of terrain and throw it at your enemies as part of your game is really cool. And playing as all those Marvel heroes.
In the game, we're not suggesting throwing terrain at your opponents legitimately. Mitch.
Well, that's not good sportsmanship. So,
What if your opponent's a bad sport and they have it?
Hope your aim is true.
Okay. Probably still not the best thing to do because let's face it, other people are going to see that and think you're not that great of a person. So, so we also had a look at checked out the Lard Zone, the Two Fat Lardies game. So like the Chain of Command, they had a Chain of Command Black Powder, which was an absolutely phenomenal board. It was like,
dude, that was like
15 feet.
Yeah, 15, 16 feet of Napoleonic. Whew, that was lovely.
Everything was well painted. The terrain was well done. They had it set up where they were firing. They had little bits of cotton wool to simulate the smoke from the volleys.
Yeah, right.
It like they weren't really doing much. So I was sitting around talking because I don't understand the game that much. It was probably a bit more of a slower play, more intricate game system than what we would normally play. We're a bit more like, can I roll the dice? Can I roll the dice? Can I break stuff? Yeah. So that's kind of what sort of for me is a bit more of that, the slow play or more technical play of, issuing your orders and things like that. I think they were in the middle of something where they were like, someone was trying to turn a flank and I don't know if it was going to work or not. So,
Sure.
But it looked really, really phenomenal. So,
the spectacle at conventions like CanCon and Moab, where you just see the amount of care that goes into the tables, the armies, the collections, the planning and organizing to get it there.
Very much
just
so.
amazing. It is a spectacle. It is spectacular.
Yes, it is. So went through, wandered through, saw one of our another guy that we know, Nick. So had a quick chat with him. So as we wandered on through to the vendor hall, and the vendor hall had tons of people in it. They got the massive gaming area for the board games section where you can go through and have a games master help you go through and play games.
Such an awesome idea to have that at a convention. Just an entire area dedicated to, hey, maybe come and try this board game before you buy it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great way to get some sales.
Yeah, and the fact that the people are passionate about it as well, that we're wanting to be there to show people these games that they love, it's pretty awesome. So had to wander around all the different stalls. I got walked past the guys doing Trench Crusade from Gap Games. They were there spruiking that, and they're like, "Hey, have you seen Trench Crusade?" And both Lee and Andrew laughed and just went, "Yeah, this guy." And I went, "Yeah, I'm the one responsible for talking about it too much in our group."
And that was where we lost Mitch for half an hour.
Yeah, I was there for a while talking to the guys, and they're like, "Hey, just buy this box and gift it to someone. Then they got to play, right?" So they had the plastic Strauss-Truppen box. Looks like they had some of the miniatures there. Even the 3D print stuff that have been produced.
Look amazing.
Even the little display tables they had for people to try rolling some dice on looked great anyway. And they're only like a little 2 foot by 2 foot space. Yeah. So I got caught up with them for a bit. So I'm not sure where you guys ended up, but I ended up over at Slave to Gaming and had a check out of Andrew's new stuff over there.
What new stuff was on? He
had his new Hoverstug. So the Hoverstug that he's doing for his 2141 game, a few of the other miniatures out for that. He had some prototypes for the bikes as well. So the little guys riding on little hover bikes. So that was really cool. Had a chat with him for a while. So I don't know, you guys ended up heading off elsewhere.
Yeah,
so where did you guys end up?
We went off and did our lap while you were chatting about Trench Crusade. I've got my little list to go through here, so everyone's getting a shout out. Starting off with 3D Matt, which is a little local 3D printer. Local Australian, obviously, because it was CanCon. Good range of World War II stuff, aircraft, vehicles, miniatures. Quality looks quite good. Haven't ordered from him yet, but he has a pretty good range on his website. We ran into Luke from Fjord Serpents. He's got a new terrain range coming out for his Fjord Serpents. Good lord, get the names right. Fjord Serpents and Blade Wrath, the 15mm range.
Yep. I did stop through and have a quick squiz at some of the stuff that he had there. It was looking really nice.
Yeah, really cool. Like just lots of little news things that he's bringing out for his range. He's had some like delicious looking gold dice, which I had to not buy, but they were very nice. Gap Games, of course, that's my go-to gaming store at the moment. Really, really great range of pretty much everything and very, very good prices. Battlefield accessories. These guys, I love these guys.
They got a lot of nice bits and pieces to help your table out. Awesome looking terrain.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So they do a lot of literally, as their name says, Battlefield accessories. So whether that's like dials or counters or things like that, but they have one of the best ranges of pre-painted MDF terrain that I've had. So easy to put together. Like you literally don't need instructions. You can just visually see how it goes.
Nice.
And it's a massive, ever-expanding range, going from, kind of medieval Tudor houses all the way up to modern, I say World War II kind of modern, like row houses from England and village houses.
Nice.
In multiple ranges too, so they do them in 15, 20 and 28 millimeter range. And then probably the last one that I'll call out for time is Medbury Miniatures. Where do we even start? We love these guys. Every one that we go to, we need to go to Medbury and say hello.
Yeah.
Really good range of from fantasy through to historic miniatures. He's just done a really cool new Aussie range for World War II. They looked really nice. It was good to see him in person.
I actually picked up one of the sniper models just to do as a tester because I wanted to get something from him this year. And definitely pick up some of that. Yeah.
And in an unusual case of what got Andrew distracted, we picked up a whole heap of little medieval knights to kind of expand my little range. Barons War, anybody? So that was really cool. He's just got really nice minis. They're really good quality. They're very lovely to paint, and very good pricing as always.
Yeah. So I did have a stop through and have a look at some of his stuff and grab something. The guys at what was it? Steve from X Manus. He was there. Had a quick check in with him. So he's got a few bits and pieces that he's been working on since the last time I saw him. He's gone through and finished up. So he's got like a pumpkin witch figure, which is really cool. So it's got like a pumpkin kind of bloomers and like a pumpkin for a head stuff. It's very nice. And then what else did we check out? There was also. I'm drawing a blank, man. So have you got something else? Ocker Games.
Yeah, I was going to say Ocker Games was one I left off, which I probably shouldn't have. He's pretty cool. It's a like eclectic mix of just everything. Like he's got books, he's got minis, he's got terrain that he makes himself and sells.
He had some really cool little games. He had the Emu Wars. You get to fight against emus that mob up and try and take out your troops. And another one that was Penguins versus Ice, which was... penguins fighting against oppressive border control agents coming in to take over the islands that they're on. So, we'll leave that. We're not a political podcast, so we're not going to go anything further into that. But it was really cool to check it out. I had a quick chat with him. There's a bunch of other things that were there. Some people spruiking their own games that they'd gone through and they designed. And then, we headed on through to the other sales area, which had a few other bits and pieces. Had
so that was
just the one that was like there was a lot of cosplay kind of stuff there last year.
There was still people with all of that, like LARPing gear and things like that as well. So
this was I can't remember the building name, but it's off to the side. That was where Gap Games was, but also a really cool new one that we found, which was called Miniature Horde. Those guys were so cool. They had just little blister packs of like basing accessories or miniature accessories to add on, animals, heads on pikes, graveyard accessories,
bamboo stands. I got some stuff to make like a little 19th century encampment to use for Silver Bayonet, or even just for Frostgrave. What else? I got some Trench Crusade style like crosses and things like that.
Very cool, and like.
Print quality is really great.
So they look great, the quality, and my God, the prices were great. So anybody who needs anything like that, Miniature Horde, amazing. Or miniature decorations down under, very, very cool.
Love the stuff I've got from here.
Look, the amount of the range, just the sheer volume of stuff that they cover, that they print off, is really quite good. So definitely check those guys out. But there was just an absolute ton of stuff. They had the building with all the D&D adventuring in there. So
the little one shots for D&D and Pathfinder.
Very cool. And then basically that was pretty much majority of the day was taken up going through and having a wander around talking to people.
Great.
So and checking out tons of cool tables.
Very cool.
So would go again?
It's every year, right? So it's
the annual road trip with the boys. It has to happen.
So it's a fair bit of a trek for us. It's about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours each way, so about a 5-hour drive round trip. But you know what? You don't get anything else like that scale. You get Moab is still quite large for the tournament where it is. But it's not like you have we don't have anything like Gen Con or Adepticon or anything like that here in Australia. Just ArcFest is maybe the closest thing. Down in Melbourne, but there's a lot of little tournaments dotted around. People have like a gaming hub area that will be like one main sort of game store to run tournaments out of. But yeah, look, it's always great to go down. You always run into a lot of people that every year.
Connection to community is the best thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
excellent.
So yeah, it's certainly something that if you're ever in the area during the Australia Day long weekend, go through and take a look and check it out.
Yeah. And if you're not, make it a destination. It's worth it.
Yeah.
We're going to change over to a slightly different topic now, which is hobby goals and completion. First, we're going to look at what we did over 2025, what went well, what went wrong, what went sideways, what distracted Mitch, and then we're going to have a look at what we're doing for our 2026 hobby.
Yeah.
Who feels positive about what they got done in 2025?
I am positive I didn't complete my challenge. I again bit off a bit more than I could chew. It's been a bit of a different year. Look, for the most part, I did get 3 things done, which I was pretty stoked about. So I got my bolt action Gebirgsjäger Force finished off for my Germans. I got my silver bayonet warband all painted up, and I got my bolt action table, my winter table done. I've got more stuff to add to it, but I got the majority of the stuff I wanted done finished off.
Nice.
And I missed out my Stargrave by like 5 days, so
yeah, right.
Because I didn't have a chance over the holiday Christmas period to get them finished off entirely how I wanted. So that was a bit in the new year, but yeah, I got those finished off as well. So I'll call that a half. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, I probably didn't get as much done as what I wanted to get done. I think I was quite buoyed by the success of 2024, so overplanned probably for 2025. I think I actually only crossed a single item off my 2025 list because I just got distracted. I ended up doing a whole new bolt action army. The British Paras, instead of doing some of the other goals that were on there. Volume-wise, I hit 180 probably the week before the end of December.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, look, I'm not sniffing at it. That was pretty good. I got everything that I wanted off my table. But yeah, just from like a goal perspective, yeah, probably not.
Sure.
How about yourself, Tim? How'd you go?
I started off doing 365 and setting some hobby goals, and I think because I had so many goblins to get to, I got through my 365 pretty quick, like within the first half of the year kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because I painted like 250 night goblins.
That's a lot of night goblins.
And then rolled from that into silver bayonet, and that's like another dozen guys. Stargrave, another dozen guys. A couple of commission jobs on Warmaster armies as well. And then into bolt action, so I could do the French for our Colmar game, which is a decent sort of 1,500 points if I put it all together. So I got the quantity done, but I'd also set hobby goals of play a game with a fully painted army for these systems.
Yeah.
And out of those goals, I was, I think, 3 out of 7.
That's still pretty good.
It's not bad, and I enjoyed what I did, but it would be like we played not Wave Serpents. We played Fjord Serpents, but not with fully painted armies.
Yeah.
Or we played, and we never got around to having a second game with it that year. Or I got my Stargrave finished, but we didn't play a game with it yet, so I missed out on that half of the completion. And there was a few other ones. I think it was Stargrave, Fallout, Fjord Serpents were the 3 main ones that were still on my list to do from this year. So happy with the amount of hobby overall, because I also did other hobby stuff, like I did sepia artworks for our Colmar booklet, and I did a bunch of 3D printing that was really, really cool, and thank you, Andrew. It's been amazing.
Yeah, the sculpting you've
3D
done.
workshop.
Sculpting you've done is pretty amazing, yeah.
I'm having a ball. I'm hoping to do quite a bit more this year, but it's also a really busy work year for me, so it's going to be tricky balancing that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that everybody who does any hobby should say that was a victory. But because we set ourselves goals, it's hard not to measure whether or not we done good
Yeah.
by looking at those goals.
Yeah.
Do you feel that there's, well, both of you, do you ever feel that sometimes the goals can be a hindrance rather than an inspiration?
Oh, I don't know. I'm 50-50. So for me, goals help me focus on getting stuff done. But I think the goals also need to be realistic for what we were doing, like as a hobby group for the year. So I had goals on there, like painting the Bretonian Navy that we printed off on a whim, that we haven't even touched. So that was, for me, probably a pretty pointless goal because the drive to play the game wasn't there. So the drive to paint it wasn't there.
Sure.
Yeah, look, I did have on there for some old world, but we kind of petered off a bit with sort of doing things for that. I didn't get any stuff painted for that, but that was like painted and play with a fully painted force. Didn't get that done. I also had for Age of Sigma or Hobgoblin to do that as a fully painted force and play game. Didn't get that done either. I didn't get my Stargrave table finished off. I think I started spraying one of the pieces and then properly fell over and broke it. So the first piece I sprayed. Misjudged steps in the backyard, guys. Be careful. So it's I've still had a few things there that I could have done. I thought I'd written a list that was pretty good. Like I didn't have too much to do, but overall, just with limitations with work, family stuff. But not only that, like I'm slow painting anyway. I like to take my time when I paint and build stuff, so that kind of I need to factor that in a bit more.
Sure.
Video games, stuff like that. So reading,
Let me throw these open to you individually. So Andrew, would you say you enjoy the goal setting when you can achieve it?
Yeah, I think I was just thinking as we were talking there. I think for me, I need to be less specific in my goals and give myself a theme. So whether it is I want to do hobby relating to bolt action, and then I can set the pace there. Whether it's I've done a whole new army, great, or I'd built some train. Okay, cool. I've still achieved a goal of doing something related to bolt action.
I think like for yourself, Tim, like as far as is it a taxing mental load to take on for sheer volume, like 365 minutes, you look at it and go, well, yeah, I can do that, and then you start getting partway through and you go, oh wow, I'm like at like 80 or 50 or whatever it might be. I find that to be daunting once I know that I've only gotten this far. Well, I've only painted really 12 miniatures, but I painted really well. But that's it. I've only done 12. Like, do you have that sort of feeling when you're looking at your goals?
I think everybody gets a little bit of fear of failure. And I certainly do. Like towards the end of the year, I was like, awesome. Like I've done heaps of hobby this year. I feel really good. And then I was like, oh, but there were 3 games that I really wanted to play. They were on my hobby goals list, but I'm not inspired about Fallout at the moment. Fjord Serpents has heaps of 10 mil, 6 mil guys, and I was just burned out from painting Warmaster at that point.
Yeah.
So they just dropped off my inspiration wheelhouse. So finding the drive to paint something that you're not inspired by at that point is really hard. When those come back around, because everything comes back around on my attention wheel, then I'll be like, great, awesome, 6 mil Vikings, let's go. But at the time, it was so hard to get any moxie up to finish those things. And it's the same with numbers games as well. I think a big thing for me is realizing that 365 is cool, but it's cool in isolation. If you tried to do it every year, it would be, unless you're Russ, it would just be a huge task. And it also makes you so focused on numbers, as we've discussed, that sometimes you're not happy with the quality that you do, or you're burning through projects just to get the numbers done that aren't priority projects, and then you're missing out another hobby. So I think goals are a double-edged sword. I think that they really help us stay focused, but they can make us over-focused on one element. And that's where having more open goals, like Andrew said, can be a benefit. If you say, I want to spend X amount of time on bolt action, that's a whole different goal to achieve than I want to paint 2,000 men or 2,000 points. You know?
Yeah. It certainly is having a group that you're doing the challenge with. So whether it's online as a group or whether it's with your mates, having sort of that camaraderie of it, like, you know, you're wanting to work together, especially if you're working together for a goal for like, oh, we want to play a game against each other, 2,000 points, let's go get the armies painted, that's our challenge sort of thing. Having that motivation, like that bit of competition with your mates, I think is a good factor, but it's also for people of differing skill levels. So which you get maybe a bit of the feel bad because you're not up to getting things done as quickly because you're a bit time poor due to work or whatever, or your skills, it might take you longer to paint, or you don't have those skills and you sort of, you know, get someone to do it for you. You have a commissioned painter.
Yeah. And you're right with the competitive side too. Like, I think what I missed a lot from 2025 was the back and forth that you and I had, Tim, for 2024 for the first year that we did 365. So it was like, I'm at 80, haha, I just did 82 just so I could say I'm in the lead. So, you know, you nuking out the 365 within a couple of months was like, oh, that's you know, no fault to you. I mean, that's amazing. But yeah, for me, that took a lot of the drive out, and then that started flowing into the projects where I was like, oh, well, you know, can't win this now.
That's it.
And
unless there's so much existing drive to be like, well, I've got to get back, beat Tim 365, and then have more done than him by the end, that's a whole different goal as well. And it's I was thinking when you just said then, Mitch, that it's like other people might be faster painters or proficient in a different area. It's kind of like a triathlon where you're like, if I join a triathlon, but what I really want to do is go on a bike ride, then 2/3 of your triathlon isn't going to be what you actually wanted to do. Like, I got tons of numbers done at the start of the year, and then I kind of burnt out on painting a bit, and I didn't have the competition with you guys being like close by to push me to keep going. Because you'd gone, well, Tim's already past 365, so that's not a big drive. Like, unless you're driving for it for yourself, where you're like, oh, I want to do 365, is a different statement than I want to beat Andrew because we've talked enough trash about it. But now it's like,
yeah, we have to do it.
It's like everyone's watching now.
Like it's in my soul now, so I guess I have to do it. It's a whole different thing. Right? And if I had this year over again, I'd go, okay, well, I'm going to do more of the building and gaming stuff along the way at the start and spread it out. So there'd be like a longer competition point. And
I think tying it into other things is really good too. So, you know, whether it's working towards like one of our games days and going, do you know what? There's a game that we want to show Ben, for example. That little drive then is really good for me to go, well, hey, wouldn't it even be better if we had a painted board or we had, you know, a painted squad to show this game with it? So you're breaking it down then into mini goals to tie into a reward, which then gives you that lovely dopamine boost.
So something like that as a 2026 goal could be, I want to show the guys at the club how to play Baron's War. So then Andrew can go, right, do I have enough stuff for a Baron's War battle board? He's probably got like 50% of the stuff already, but he might go,
probably 100% to be honest with the amount of terrain you
got. But then he can go, okay, I've got some terrain goals, I've got learning the rules goals, like play testing goals, and then I've got painting up warbands goals. That's 3 different sections of hobby that might be a couple of months each, and they're all towards an overall goal that's going to feel good. Mitch has done almost a similar thing with his Colmar campaign, where he's focused on all of his Gebirgsjäger. He's got the whole team painted up and then done the board that goes with him, so everything is ready and like pumped up and cool to play those games. But we played one Colmar campaign, and then we played each other in the tournament. So getting that finished is kind of like a lost goal from last year. Right.
It's one of those things. Even though we haven't completed, like even our Stargrave games, we haven't played any Stargrave yet. We were all kind of on board for playing that with our Star Wars themed armies. Crews. That's a goal that we can go through and we can then do for this year. And it might only be, we're going to get together and play just like a couple of quick games. So just to get out, learn the rules, have a bit of fun with it, because it's not something super serious. So it's not like we're going into it for tournament play. Like some of the games that we are looking at playing, that we have stuff for or are looking at getting into in the future, yes, there is campaign elements to it, advancements, things like that. So there can be a little bit of rivalry and things like that there, which will help kind of push us to play a bit more. But some of the games are like, we might only play that game for, the once every 8 weeks or so that we meet up to play. We might play one game and that's it.
Yeah.
So having more frequent games. So if you have a club that you go to constantly, so there's, there are some stores that will run their own in-house gaming. You can just basically go and hire out a table, or, put down for a table and go and play. Depends if they have particular nights, if you have for certain game systems, if there's something that, you run demo games, so you actually want to get more people into playing. So,
Similar to the Barons War example or the Colmar campaign, if you were setting yourself goals like we do, you might say, at Moab this year, I actually want to do a participation game, and I'm just going to run my favorite game that nobody seems to run tournaments for.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make a board. I'm going to make all my character sheets and what have you. I'm going to print up 2 bands so that 2 teams, armies, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That could be your hobby goal for the whole year is I'm going to do what I want so that I can run demos for other people at a tournament. And it could be your local game group, your social group, your club. It could be a big event. You could be aiming for CanCon next year. You could be one of the things that we walk past and go, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways to get you inspiration on what you want to do and how you want to do it. So the next part of the question for us, I think, is what are we looking for out of 2026 and how are we going to achieve that? Has anybody thought about goals or no goals? Is it a freestyle year?
My goal is definitely planning less, so less goals. I haven't really chosen a lot of specific ones yet. I think it's going to be a mix for me of something sparks my inspiration, that becomes a goal, and maybe a few actual planned ones. But I will come back to you all on that.
What about yourself, Tim?
So I've got 2 things in my head. One is that I kind of get sick of not reaching goals and then feeling like I've let down myself for the year. Even if it's just a little bit, I'm like, oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So I had 2 names for it in my head. One was the Dirty Dozen, which was all the dirty feels about different goals that I hadn't completed. So I would go back to a dozen unfinished projects and just do those. So it'd be,
that's cool.
I got the team painted for Stargrave, but didn't play it. So that's one goal, but just playing Stargrave a few times counts as a goal.
Yeah.
Silver Bayonet was great. Painted it, played it, it's done, it's off the list.
Yeah.
But still want to play it for fun.
Yeah.
Fjord Serpents, I'd paint it and play with it as 2 of the goals. And I'd just make up a list of 12 by dirty secrets of the goals that I never met. And then I was like, oh, that's pretty negative, calling it the Dirty Dozen. And I was like, what's a smaller, more achievable goal number? And I started racking my brain for movies, and I was like, the Magnificent Seven. Right? Because then you can go, right, this can be the glorious redo of 7 hobby goals from 2024, 25, whatever, of things that I wished I'd got done that I can now make into magnificent memories for 2026.
That's a good idea.
You poetic man, you.
Right.
Or it's not like 7, what's in the box kind of things. I might go that way.
Some really terrible unboxings with that vibe. So that's my goal. I haven't decided on a dozen small goals, but I think the idea of 7 things that I want to get done, because there's plenty of little games where it's we keep talking about 4090 Doom. We've got tons of terrain for it.
Yep.
You've only got to paint 3 models and play some games.
Yep.
And with the 3 of us could sit down for a weekend with 1 or 2 other mates, and that's enough people to play a dozen
games,
Yeah, I mean,
games,
the games are very quick. They're like half-hour, 40-minute games for that. So, yeah, it's certainly something that is much more of an accessible thing as far as a goal is concerned.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Magnificent 7 is going to be my goal. Unless I find another number that's got a funny connection to it. Maybe something that has a H for hobby in it or M for miniatures. I don't know.
We're just going to get random messages on tonight. Like, oh, I've got this one.
I was like, the famous 5? No.
No.
I was like, what else has got numbers?
Fantastic Four. I've only got 4 things to
Four
do.
goals, but then the goals would have to be big to go with
Yeah.
it. So it'd be like finish my whole halfling army and play a game.
That's
with it.
a lot of
I'm like,
halflings to
okay,
paint.
it's a lot. And I just saw some amazing new miniatures from Titan Forge, I think,
Yeah.
that have like a halfling steam tank that's actually converted from a harvester machine. It's like a wheat thresher.
Oh, that's cool.
It's
Yeah.
got like a doom wheel on the side with one of their prize pigs with a rider on it, like trundling it along.
That's awesome.
And all the small guns and stuff are like little swivel cannons of like hot pots and stuff to blast them away.
That's fantastic.
Even the armor on it is just that the front where it threshes all the harvests up has like a tilting shield from an Empire Knight, but it's like 3 stories tall for a halfling. It's massive. So that I saw that and was like, I wasn't going to do any engineering stuff for my halflings, but that's really characterful.
Yeah.
And just really funny too.
Yeah.
So all kinds of different goals that you could put in, but for me, it's 7 things that need to feel magnificent that I'm going to go back to.
Yeah. No, it's a pretty decent goal right there. Yeah.
What about you, Mitch?
So I have been thinking about this because as again another year I didn't quite meet my goals. I have thought about what would probably be a better option for me overall. Not looking at doing a 365 miniatures. I don't have it in me. I mean, if I had more time, I would sit down, I would paint. So I got like a week off coming up soon from work, but I'm running around and helping out doing the kids stuff. So
Just saying, if I had a week off, I'd do 365.
well, you would, yes.
We're not all Tim.
We don't have the speed demon painting skills to do stuff.
Or the would have half painted projects ready to go.
Oh,
the
no.
lack of detail.
Well, I'm not short on stuff lying around to paint. I've got a whole high elf army to paint up. It's probably like the best part of 100 miniatures in there, plus all my empire with like 300 miniatures in that. So and then my night goblins. So so which is another couple of hundred. So
you got a week off.
I got a week off.
I'm not doing 365.
I'm not doing 365. No, look, I'm not doing 365 this year. I've already kind of made the decision to not go in for it. Last year's goals, I think, were much more of an achievable thing for me. However, I get too bogged down in doing small detail stuff. So I'll do a lot of retouches when I paint because, unfortunately, I'm a bit of a messy painter, but I'm also a bit of a perfectionist, which is really not a great combination when you're trying to paint stuff and you don't have the brush control. Some stuff I can get looking quite good, and I go, cool, not touching again, like put it away, that's it, it's done. The building stuff though, I take a long time to build things. So I do a lot of mold line cleaning. I do a bunch of conversion work, adding extra stowage to things. And painting styles. I have changed the way my painting styles. I think this might come into part of this as well. Is that if you're changing up your painting styles to something different, you might find you'll be able to smash out 365 quite easily if you painted one particular way and then you go over to slap chop or something like that.
Sure.
But then are you going to be happy though with what you've done?
And that's where the crux of the matter is that do you go, well, am I doing this just to get the numbers because I'm trying a new thing out, or am I trying this out because I actually want to use this as a painting technique in the future?
Yeah.
So I have looked at what I've got ready to go. Like one thing we're getting into a bit, as we talked about in the previous episode, is Conflict 47. We've been fans of it pretty much since we saw it. So since it came out a while back. So I'm working on, I need to get some stuff finished off for that because there is also more than likely at ShireCon, so one of the tournaments that's in the Sydney region, there is I was speaking to Ian at the tournament that they're looking at running something there for Conflict 47, so I'm interested in going up to that. Maybe I used to go and play at like 3 tournaments a year years ago. I don't necessarily have it in me to do like big drives for stuff just because it's time poor. So Sydney-based stuff is pretty good. So there's Conflict 47 that's more likely going to be at ShireCon, so I'm interested in going that. But then we'll have Moab for Bolt Action, so that we'll be going to and dragging Andrew along to.
Which we should all definitely have as one of our written goals is just have my army ready for Bolt Action.
Yeah.
Because that locks us into going, that's a challenge. I've said it. Make sure that we go and play some games with each other to prep for it.
Yeah.
Tournament goals are always amazing.
Yeah, well, that's you having the impetus of getting things ready to go for a tournament. I think is a good part of the challenge. Having that for the 365 for last year, making sure my army was fully done for Moab was good. It pushed me to make sure I got the army finished off.
Absolutely.
So we've got that. Some 1490 Doom as we discussed, because I went in on the game found on that. So I've got the rule book, a couple of the expansions. I've got some very, very nice miniatures from Skullforge. So he's actually released another set with another 4 different Doom player types. I've also got a couple of the official ones as well that came through as part of the bits and pieces you got for the game found. Trench Crusade is one that you guys will I definitely keep rabbiting on about, because it's a very cool setting. The miniatures are really quite nice. We have looked at the stuff that was at CanCon. So for it, I've actually gone in on a Kickstarter for some naval heretic troopers, and they're in more streamlined armor that doesn't have heaps of hooks and stuff. So you don't get snagged on as many things charging out, doing more of your stealthy stuff. So I went in on that, and that made well past its goal. They actually had released a bunch of extra stuff that they hadn't really planned on as yet. Nice. So I got the files for that coming at the end of this month, I think. And I know Andrew's all about New Antioch, which
what can I say? I like my shiny knights.
Yep. So, and I'm sure Tim's like, oh yeah, yep, I'll get something as well. So, and I think
I'm pretty sure I can afford in my hobby budget to print out one team to go along with it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's another nice low miniature count game, so
yeah,
and they're good to target.
And that's sort of something that's for the majority of the things I've got on the list here is more of that skirmish style stuff. I'm wanting to play a bit more of that this year. So playing, getting my table for Stargrave done, and a 1490 Doom table, because that's only played on a 2-foot round for 1490 Doom. So you don't need to have a massive table. It's actually, you can sit around just a regular coffee table and play it. It's a really cool way it's been designed. But yeah, maybe Hobgoblin, because I was talking to a few people about that. So it'll be interesting to drag out some more fantasy style miniatures. But yeah,
let me ask, because it seems like you've
you've
gone through a few, and you're back up into the question of achievable, unachievable.
Yeah.
Is this paint and play, or is it just play? Some of my goals are just play with something that I've got ready.
Yeah, so mine are mainly paint and play a game with. So because at least one game, so that way I've gone through and done it. I'm probably biting off more than I can at the moment. So I do have an idea of adding extra stuff to my winter board. So some extra buildings, more stuff to make it Trench Crusade-y, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I will probably, as always, eyes are too big for the stomach, and try to do more than I can. But some of these projects are only going to require me to paint 10 models. So, and that's where I find it'll be a bit more achievable for myself there.
Maybe the goal should be then that you've got these list of things that are inspirational, but then you say, my goal is to achieve 4 of these things, or 3 of these things, and you go, I've got a list of great choices, but doing all of them might literally be as a being in your stomach, cannot get it done. But if you give yourself a goal that is achievable and realistic, then it stays motivational.
Yes.
By the time you get one done, you're like, I'm a third of the way through my thing.
Yeah.
But you're doing one per school term, in my vernacular,
Yeah.
Every 10 weeks, can I get one of these done and play a game?
Yeah. So it might be like a thing for me, because I haven't quite pinned it down. I haven't actually shared it through on social media with my list. So I've been sort of and ahhing about what I'm going to be doing for it, but I'll probably put that up over the course of the next week or so as to what my plans are. Sure. Putting it out in the world there so people know what I'm doing. Keep an eye out on my socials for it. So I'll probably end up going through and looking more along the lines of more of the skirmish games rather than anything that's a mass battle, apart from maybe Conflict 47, in which case, that I do want to make sure I get something done for that this year.
Yeah, and I think playing devil's advocate, not only for you, but probably for everyone who's doing some goals at the moment, are your goals simply for you, or can you tie them in with your hobby group? Yeah. So, looking at our hobby group, for example, we've got a massive diverse range of interests of games, and I'm sure at some point you'll play every single one of those games with us. Yeah. Is it going to be a one-off? Are you going to go through all that effort to play one game? Yeah. And it's the same for everyone. If you got a hobby group, obviously everyone's going to join in, and you want to make sure your mates are playing games and having fun with it, but is it also achievable for the group to get something out of that particular goal?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose the hard part of that is that how often are you meeting? What interests are aligning? Because some people might be really into playing. I really want to play a Victorian era sci-fi skirmish game. So you grab like one of the Osprey blue books with for I think it's on Her Majesty's Secret Service or something like that, and it's like a steampunk Victorian era game. You might go, I've got all these miniatures for it, I've got this, I've got a table planned out, and people go, yeah, but I'm not really interested in playing that. So and that's, you do kind of have the whole you might not get people playing it. Like one thing that we saw at Moab last year was that Zona Alpha board, and it looked fantastic. And I've had a listen to some podcasts about it and looked up some information. They got some really cool looking miniatures that you can get for it. But it's one of those things, if I get that, are you guys going to play with me, sort of thing. And it's like you roll through cycles of what are common interests with your group.
Totally.
So,
and I think, I start to lean towards some of these more kind of miniatures agnostic games that you keep finding. But then I think, for me, then my OCD kicks in and I'm like, but I don't want to play with a different set of miniatures to what you're playing with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, then I feel that challenge then to go, okay, well, Mitch really wants to play Hobgoblin, for example, which can be absolutely anything.
Literally anything,
but,
yeah.
If you're putting down a medieval army, I don't want to put down a Renaissance army. I mean, pretty similar time periods, but okay, pike and shot versus sword and spear.
Yeah.
So
pike and shot, you say?
Stop it. But you also have to lay in that part as well and go, it's miniatures agnostic, but Tim, are you happy playing a Space Marine Stargrave game versus a Star Wars crew?
Yeah.
Does that work? Are you happy with it? Is everyone happy with it?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, well, great, you're going to get a lot more games.
Yeah. I mean, the theming stuff as well, especially for games where they leave it a bit more open to interpretation about what time period you can set it in, what you're going up against. Like our Star Wars one is based simply because, well, we've all got a ton of Star Wars figures that we've had for years. We don't play as much Legion anymore. And some of the stuff we've got is not even usable in Legion. Like, there's no rules for them.
There's also guys in there that are technically from different time periods. There's like the Saw Gerrera's a Galactic Civil War. My guys are Galactic Civil War as well, but the Naboo Royal Guard, depending on how you're theming them, might be like prequel era, and none of that is so far apart that you couldn't say, but you'd still bump into these guys somewhere. They'd be around, and it all fits the world, and it gives you an opportunity to play some cool games and go do that what if, where you're like, what if the Naboo Royal Guard were busting Stormtrooper face because they dared to board a giant silver spaceship. All kinds of fun.
No, I think with something like this for 2026, it is something that we might need to look more at. Like, as far as for me, I've got to look at more of what will be achievable, because my list of stuff that I want to do is like pretty long. There's always new stuff coming out. So there's always new sculpts for figures. I find a new game here and there, and I'm kind of like, well, is it something that I can get other people interested in? So is it going to, am I going to get playtime with this, or am I just simply getting stuff to build and paint, which is fine. Some people, that's all their hobby is.
The second part there is, are you going to get some games out of it, or are you going to get someone else who's collecting it? And they might not be the same.
Exactly.
Like I would happily play some like Zona Alpha, but it doesn't inspire me enough that I want to collect a separate team for it, for example, or do bespoke scenery for it.
Exactly.
Right? And similarly, like the Drowned Earth stuff, I find really cool and like exactly my vibe of overgrown cities and cool dinosaurs. And I know a bunch of people enjoyed the game side of it, but they might not want to buy a warband. Like, and that's it. Like if you set goals where you're going to be inspired to get them done, that's going to get you there. But if you're doing it for other people that might not be there when you finish because they're not always interested, just make sure that you're investing in a goal that is going to be worth doing long term. You're going to spend a long time on it.
So you will put your time and effort into it, and obviously, if you're wanting it to be something that's, an enjoyable part of your hobby, you don't want it to be a slog. So it's definitely that sort of aspect for it. So basically, coming out of this, we're going to look at using a couple of hashtags to go through and share our miniature progress. So the one that a lot of people are using at the moment, because there's been a ton of posts over the last month or so from a lot of different people through Instagram, sharing what their hobby goals for 2026 are. So that is hashtag hobby goals 2026. So I'm going to be sharing some stuff under that. Just personally, I'm going to be sharing that.
Same.
Because it means that everyone else that is following that will be able to see everything that everybody else is doing. And, it's that community aspect of it as well.
Absolutely. And if anybody out there is taking the quantity challenge and they're doing 365 minis, chuck it up there. If you've got a hobby hashtag of your own that you think is worth pursuing, send it to us. We want to know so we can follow it. All of our socials are linked in all of the podcast descriptions, so you can get in contact with us in a number of different ways. But that's I think that's probably it for what we're doing for our main hobby goal focus at the moment. And we'll see what we're doing.
We've also moved the podcast onto YouTube as well. So if you would like to see us in a different medium, by see, I still mean here, but looking at a screen, go for it. Find us on YouTube. Give us a like and a follow.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Serve the great Lord Algorithmos.
Algorithmos, yeah. All right, it's time again for What's Got Mitch Distracted. So the guy's most fun part of any episode, I think. So because I get side looks from everyone. This time,
mostly because it ties in so strongly to stay on target.
Yeah, right. It's terrible.
And it's what obscure thing have you randomly found on the internet this time?
Okay, so not super obscure. It's one that's actually been out for a little bit, but I've seen bits and pieces for it, but decided to have a bit more of a look in. It's a game called Blackout. So it's set in sort of like near future, still a couple hundred years in the future. Where corporations have basically left Earth and colonized another planet and has them fighting for resources. So you have different factions within it. They each have their own set sort of war bands, essentially, their own fire teams.
What scale miniatures were
these are 32, so which gives you a decent sort of amount of painting space, that sort of thing. Within it you have like your basic human troopers and things like that. You also have like bots, so essentially think of Chappie, so like the police bots from Chappie. You'd have like those kinds of sort of smaller mechs, but you also have larger mechs as well, kind of like Titanfall. If anyone played the Titanfall games, kind of that sort of style, where it's a much larger mech called a Duster. It's just really cool. The mechanics are pretty interesting. The rulebook and the lore primer are actually online. You can go through and just get them from their website, which is pretty cool. They do have a 2-player starter set, which comes with all the tokens and things like that.
Do you know what the miniatures made of? Or is it just tokens and you do your own mini?
No, they actually have their own miniatures out. So they are, I think typically they are resin. So I'm not 100%. So like I said, I get distracted very easily.
He saw the pretty thing. He didn't do the detail.
BLKOUT Blackout. So
they are very nice minis. I'm sneaking some pictures right now.
Yeah. So they've got like nice little like sort of modern military-esque sort of weaponry.
Very cool.
You have grenade launchers and things like that. One of the mechanics that kind of, when I saw it, was quite an interesting one, was you can actually come up to a corner of terrain and you actually have like a pop-out mechanic, like you would have someone actually popping out, firing off some shots and then ducking back into cover. So that duck back mechanic is something they include in there, which is just a really cool little bit that I hadn't seen. There's a couple of guys who've done some battle reports I had a bit of a watch of. It's something that I kind of went, oh wow, like, and I got really into it for like about a week and a half, where I was like checking up people's stuff through Instagram, painting stuff, reading the back lore, like the lore primer and everything. Look, it is something a bit not so different and out there for sort of the realm of what we do, but it was just a different style of gaming. So you're still only talking small amount of models for a fire team, usually like sort of 8 models, give or take. Essentially it's just one of those cool little games that I've come across that I went, oh, that looks pretty cool, and got infatuated with it for a while, and then went,
to the next thing.
Essentially. But also, is it something that I can go through and actually play? Can I get the stuff for it? How much is it? That kind of thing. So these are all factors sort of went into my decision making on it. At the end of the day, it's something I went, yep, that's really cool, but right now I've got a lot of other games I want to focus on. So I did stay on target for once.
Hey,
And then I bought some Trench Crusade stuff. So it's yeah.
I like the way it's not so far future. Like a lot of the guys look like Spec Op dudes with just some really decent gear.
Yeah.
So it's like they say about Infinity. It's like it's not in the distant future. It's not right now, but you can see it from here.
Yeah.
Like it's a time frame that's close enough that you get it, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like all the mechs in there, I can see someone trying to knock them over with a broomstick at Dynamic Labs or whatever it is. Like they've got that. They're a little bit like an early prototype bipedal robot, but they've got enough chappy built into them that they're like, that they're solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, something really cool. So look, I suggest if anyone's listening, they want to see something that's pretty interesting, and my brief description is not really a good advertisement for it. But I would definitely suggest anyone go through and just have a quick check out of the miniatures, the rules, watch some YouTube battle reports. They go through and explain on how it all works. It was just one of those things that I came across and I thought, well, that's pretty interesting to check out. And yeah,
Totally.
So again, what's got Mitch distracted? Everything, but this was one I decided to talk about today. So
Excellent. Look, it looks like a solid distraction and worth a lot of hobby time if it's something you want to get into.
Yeah, so it's well worth checking out. If anyone's got any suggestions to get me distracted, feel free to send it through so I don't complete my hobby challenge. But yeah, if there's a game out there that you go, hey, this is really cool, have you seen this? Believe me, I'll look at it and I'll probably get completely obsessed with it for a bit of time and then go, that's really cool and I really need to focus.
That's what spare time is for.
Exactly, yeah.
Excellent.
So,
well, I think that probably wraps us up for this episode.
Yep.
We've got loads more to talk about next time, and we are scheduled to play our first game of Conflict as a social group on Sunday, which is 2 days from now. So hopefully we'll have a Conflict review episode coming up soon after that, because we had our predictions and what we're enthusiastic about. It'd be great to come back to that and go, right, once the Rift dice started rolling, how did we feel?
Yeah, it's surging would be the
Well, we'll surge up into the future and we'll see you all again soon.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.